we're going to be talking about some cases. I want to know your trained eye, your trained expertise on identifying these fraud trends. So we've got a couple of cases that we got from the FBI, and these are already convicted criminals. So we're going to be talking about what they did, and then your trained eye on what they did, what the red flags were, and how these victims could have spotted it.
I'm looking forward to it.
I was going to say, you up for the challenge? I know you are. All right. So the first one involves a company where a fraudster solicited more than $248 million in investments from over 25,000 individuals. We're counting that number out or saying that number out loud to let people know it's never just you. There's always more than you. But the fraudster marketed an investment platform and promised victims that they would earn passive income through automated investments in a cryptocurrency and forex trading agreement. He guaranteed them high investment returns using a trade secret technology. He falsely represented that they would double their money within 5 months, earn at least 5% weekly on returns using a robo-advisor assisted account. He said that this was a trade secret and he wouldn't share with them what it was. Each week, he fraudulently posted returns on the website to deceive investors into believing that they were actually getting an investment on their returns. Instead, he misdirected at least $14,700,000 into his personal bank account and bought a BMW and a Mercedes-Benz for himself. Jenna, tell us some of the red flags you see here.
The first red flag you see is all of these promises and guarantees, and guaranteed 5% per week. That feels too good to be true. If your gut says it feels too good to be true, do a gut check. Usually your gut's pretty right. Anyone who's saying I promise or I guarantee a rate of return on your investment, they're not licensed. And if they are licensed, they're not keeping their licenses for long. You can look an investment advisor up on BrokerCheck. You can see if they're licensed or if they're barred or if there's any complaints. So that's one way to see who is this person selling these investments and guaranteeing rate of returns. Now, sometimes there are private investments, and so you might run across someone who's not in BrokerCheck, but their investments would be on the Edgar database. So that's a different way to do your own research, is go to the Edgar database, look up the investment, see if it's registered. If it's not on the database, they can't be selling this investment in the United States. So those are two easy ways for you to look up something that feels too good to be true. The other thing on there is trade secrets. You need to know what your money's invested in. Usually we use third-party custodians. This is pretty common practice in financial institutions, and regulations are around this after the Bernie Madoff days, because Bernie Madoff was lying about what was in people's investment accounts and sending fake statements. And so we have these new regulations where we have a third-party custodian, a different entity, and this might be Schwab or Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, which I guess just became Schwab, or RBC. There's all these large institutions, and they are a separate party from your financial advisor. They send you statements. They also send the IRS how much income you made, and they make sure that they're a check and balance from that financial advisor. So the fact that we have fake statements, you're not getting statements from that third-party custodian. You have promises or guarantees, and then these trade secrets that you're not getting a statement that says what you actually are invested on. Those all shoot up red flags for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that you threw out the resources that our audience can go to. That's BrokerCheck and the Edgar database, where they can verify who these people are. And tell us each one of those. What's on each one of those databases? BrokerCheck, let's start with there. What can they verify there?
BrokerCheck, and it's also linked to IAPD. So these are very similar. You'll find them linked together when you go there. It's not a problem if an advisor is on one or the other, but that is where you'll find financial advisors if they're licensed, if their license is active, if there are complaints against them. You can find all the information. It's like a report card on financial advisors.
I like that. It's like when you when you check on your lawyer to see if he's barred, disbarred, or has complaints, or you know, a realtor to ensure that they're licensed and upstanding with the state. So very good. And then Edgar database. What's found there?
So this would be where investments that are not public, so publicly traded investments that are on our stock exchanges, you know how to find those. You can look those up on any Morningstar type investment research. But anything that's not public, how are you supposed to know any information on it? So that's where the non-public investments get listed, and you can go in there and see if they are actually registered. And all they have to, the investment company has to do is say, we're exempt from needing to do any filings, but we do exist as an investment. And they put it out there on the SEC's database so that consumers can go and see this as a legitimate investment. A fraudulent person's not going to take the time to tell the SEC, hey, guess what? We're doing a fraud investment. We'll put it right here in your database. So that's a good second way to look things up. So one's for the people, the investment advisors, and the other one's for the private investments.
Love it, love it. Thank you for sharing that. Great resources for our audience.